The morning coffee stop in Windsor is a combination coffee shop and antique shop. Doing a quick supplemental resupply at Family Dollar. Between mailing ourselves the beans and rice packages and eating out for dinner the last couple nights, we still have plenty of those. So I'm mainly topping up our stuff for our lunch wraps, tortillas, cheese and pepperoni, getting a couple other snack items.
Okay, and we are getting started a little later than planned because I had a bit of a rough night, but we are resupplied. At least Blondie is rested. I have had an insufficient amount of coffee, and it is now supposed to be 11 degrees warmer today. Woo! So we are taking the connector spur over to the Rock Island Trail. I was just talking to Kim of Kim's Cabins, and she was telling me kind of the whole history there about how they have another 140 some miles. They'll actually make a giant loop with the Katy Trail, but there has been resistance to developing it from certain quarters, which is really a shame. So eventually, if they get all that set up, there will be like a 300 or 400 mile loop down here with stays along the way and whole deal, which sounds like it would be huge for the state if they can get past that resistance. And there are plans to extend the Katy out to the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri. So you would get to go from Kansas City all the way over there or do the bigger loop. We're going to be on this for 40 or so miles, I think. It basically gets us close to Kansas City, at which point we're going to be back on roads. We go along the southern end of Kansas City over to Lawrence down to Ottawa. And then we have the great traverse of Kansas. If you are detecting a massive amount of excitement from Miss Taters here every time Kansas is mentioned, yes, the nirvana that is Kansas, the promised land. It'll be great, Jen, come on. I walked across Alabama. Nothing's gonna be that bad. We don't know where we're gonna end up tonight. We had plans, but obviously we're getting a little slower start here. We do have a trail angel near Kansas City because, as always, when we're going through a major metropolitan area, lining up and making sure that we have places to stay and we're not in a less than great area at night is kind of the main focus until we get to the other side. I've also been in contact with the trail coordinator for the American Discovery Trail in Kansas. Per him, there is a 119 mile trail we'll be on in the Flint Hills area, which the trail angel that met us for coffee yesterday said was actually a lovely area.
Yep, holding on to that.
And then he said the western part of Kansas is a little harder. It's a lot of setting tents or bivvying by the side of the road, which sounds very, very straightforward. Good progress.
Does that mean we can sleep in the corn?
Children of
the corn.
Blondie of the corn. Yes, unfortunately, it sounds like the wheat also will be harvested, so I don't know what it's going to be like. Desolation. As always, one day at a time. We are not going to try and push 30 miles, intentionally anyway, for the foreseeable, but ideally 22 to 25 is kind of where we want to be when there are not extenuating circumstances. So somebody had been nice enough to get us that night in the cabin last night because they had done the Katy Trail before and they really enjoyed their stay, which was why we rushed to be able to get here and do a overnight. And it was a really, really nice thing. Kim was chatting with me this morning, explaining kind of the history of the property and her involvement with the trails out here. And now I will sit here and see which way Taters goes, and then we will check the map and find out we went the wrong way. I'm guessing left, but oh yeah, Leighton. Oh, this looks completely different, Jen. If you're wondering about the horse-drawn vehicles, there is apparently a fairly large Amish community somewhere in the area. We actually saw a Amish bulk goods store, Amish Run. It's a little too far to walk to, which is a shame because some of the best beef jerky I've ever had has been out of Amish stores. So as Kim mentioned, this is basically the same. The one real difference we're noticing so far is that the whatever this ground cover is a little bit softer, and particularly after the rain you can feel it Doesn't really bother us because we're just hiking. Apparently people on bikes complain because it gives them a little more work. Blondie's learning how frustrating it is to have models that don't pay attention to the damn directions. Unfortunately, in addition to all the usual little minor abrasions and whatnot that comes from big days, I'm having another round of kind of dental discomfort and pain. We can't figure out what the heck's going on. I would be a lot more worried, except that dentists looked at everything and there weren't any warning flags like the tooth was infected or anything. X-ray came back clear except for a little cloudiness in the sinus, and that should have been taken care of by those antibiotics. I just had a hell of a time falling asleep last night, despite being so tired. So at the moment, everything seems pretty horrible. I'm just trying to get through the day.
Yay! Okay, Matt, I saw this one.
So there are town stops every 10 or 12 miles, and that follows for the remainder. I'm still dragging really badly. So our plan is to basically make it to the next town, and they have some free campsites. So we'll probably just set up there. It looks like it's in a park sort of thing. Oh, Taters is going to be so happy, them burning plastic and chemical piles. Any plastic jugs you need to burn?
I don't think you're supposed to burn those.
.50 and we have a couple of more miles. We are dragging pretty much because of me. I just have no energy today. Lack of sleep or the sinus thing I've been fighting. But once we get to town, we know we can stay at the park, so our plan is just to do that. Okay, so per the guide, we're not supposed to be camping here, even though that might make sense, but there is a community park over there where we're allowed to set up. We did get warned that there were a lot of dogs. And this looks like the official campsites as near as we can tell. So we have a campsite, we have 2 guard dogs, but we do not have water. So Jen is going to walk up to the store, see if anybody is around. This is kind of an odd setup because there are no signs or anything. The guide says come camp here, otherwise, you know, there's a park over there, there's the trailhead, and yet, yeah. Also, these tent platforms they set up while, okay, yeah, they have a fire pit. I mean, they're also kind of painful looking gravel, presumably to help with water. So we're probably gonna set up on some soft grass somewhere here.
Here's our campsite across the park in the small town of Chiley. It would be really quiet here other than the cicadas, which are in full force. And we're hoping we get a good night's rest and Matt feels better tomorrow and we're able to do the other half of the part of the Rock Island Trail that's already been completed. Home sweet home for the night.